much, but this one needs to come out too. My daughter's here. Maybe she could take me tomorrow or over the weekend. We'll make an appointment to get this tooth pulled. So anyway, should have done that a long time ago. But I have to go to sleep. I can't be awake for these things. So anyway, that was the pregame. That was the pregame. That's the pregame. This is my circumstances. And at one point, after the dramas of the marriage and the divorce and all of that, and this guy, he's off on his life, and you know, she's trying to raise us. So here comes the wolf, because there's always a wolf who sees this woman, independent woman, a nurse, taking care of these children who are well groomed, well behaved, you know, not in the street making no mischief, very obedient, and they know because they live next door, and the walls are thin, so they know, they hear, they know she'll give us a beating when it's necessary, and that, you know, household is fine. Everything's good except she's single. So she was very attractive, and like I said, independent, and so, you know, guys try to hit on her, of course. So we next door neighbors, and instead of accepting the advances of the man that owned the building next door, who was a widow and who was nice and who was the president of the block association, she takes up with one of his tenants. I can't. This barbarian. But right now, as I'm saying it, this is the first time this occurred to me, because she's a narcissist. Going with the guy that owned the property would have been competition for her, because he was smart, you know, and he was the president of the block association, so he was well known and respected and everything. Because she's not going to be just equal. She's going to be on top. Because even when you're a victim, you get the attention. In a way, you know. And narcissists always want attention. And then the covert narcissists want you to feel sorry for them. Yep. So she took up with the cretin, who there's no words to explain that experience. But just as she lost her damn mind, and she, this is what started this. This is, see, thank you, Ava. The reason it started, not the reason, I had this conversation with my children where I got to get some clarity about some things I didn't know before. And this song, which I always sing and love, What You Won't Do for Love, right? And the other day I made a video about another song and looking at it from a different point of view, as if you're talking about a relationship between children and a father, a daughter and a father, abandonment issues. And this one was about forgiveness, what you won't do for love. And so you got to follow along with me. I know I can get a little extra, but listen. I guess you wonder where I've been. So this is me talking to my mother, myself, to people who know me to myself. I search to find a love within. My mother always told me she didn't know where she got me from because I act totally different from her. And if I didn't look like her, she'd think that she got me from somewhere else. I agree. But, like I said, this was the scenario that the contract called for, and I got thrust into it. So, she and I may have traveled these lives again a few times because soulmate can be a parent, you know, sister, sibling, whatever, and you could be each other's whatever, male, female. She could have been my husband, I could have been hers, you know, I could have been her father, she could have been my daughter, anything. But now I'm joined her on this journey where she's the parent, and my spirit is speaking to hers after I show up. I guess you're wondering where I've been. I search to find a love within. I came back to let you know I got a thing for you that I can't let go. And at that point, my little head transistor said, yes, I got some truth for you. I got some clarity for you. And I'm not going to let us leave this life without straightening this out. And then my friends wonder what is wrong with me because everybody thinks I'm losing it, right? This spiritual journey. Also, maybe those relationships that I've had with friends and lovers, maybe they wanted to know what was wrong with me. What was I looking for? Why wouldn't I be satisfied with certain things or accept certain things or be nervous about certain things and be unsure and insecure? Because I'm in a daze from your love, you see. Because this narcissistic mother gives out a toxic kind of love that confuses their children, confused me. And so even though there's a love and there's a deep love and a respect, but it kind of leaves you shell-shocked, like a wounded warrior, like a Vietnam veteran. And still not taking any responsibility for it. So she didn't go to the funeral, and I brought back, of course, the obituary and everything for her, and I put it in a nice thing. And she hasn't looked at it to this day, and is very kind of again, narcissists make great victims. Covert narcissists. Oh, I can't bring myself to look at that thing. I see it every day. It's right there, but I can't open that thing up to look at it. I haven't looked at that up to now. Okay. And I can understand that. I've even had that hurt. My daughter's father died, you know. That was its own thing. But yeah, so I understand. But I didn't feel like that. Like I couldn't look at his picture or anything like that. But that's because another narcissist, the narcissist that you met after the first narcissist you meet. Same situation, the sister, the baby, nasty attitude, my pride. Huh. Oh yeah, he went 5 years without paying child support because you don't want me, and I don't want you, and you don't want my baby. We don't need nothing from you. Until another narcissist later on down the road was like, why are you letting this dude get away with that shit? Other people are paying their child support and he's making more money than God. And he was absolutely right. And I'll give him that credit. I'll give him credit for that. But he grew up in a place where his father lived with his family around the corner and abandoned him and his mother. So he had sisters that grew up like down the street from him, down in Mississippi. So he was coming from a different, you know, perspective. Like, fuck that, you know? Let him pay. Children have needs, and if father got money, let him take care of his needs. And he was absolutely right. But so like I said, he died a few years ago. So I was like a similar kind of a feeling, but it's different because they still carried a torch for each other. There was no torch that I ever knew of on that had disintegrated. And even if it wasn't like that, I will never know because there was a conspiracy against that relationship from the time we got together. And I will be honest with you, I think part of the reason that we never got a chance to straighten it out was because of that same bullshit, that sister nonsense and jealousy, and the current wife being comfortable because they knew too. They knew. But now that I've come on this spiritual journey, I understand that that's part of the twin flame experience. Sometimes karmic experiences, mirror twin flame experiences, and sometimes twin flames make choices that we all have free wills. And just like my mother had a choice, my daughter's father had a choice. So you pick people just like the parent, right? So the narcissistic mother, I picked the narcissistic father of my child, the person that I was in love with, who actually probably was a twin flame or a very close proximity. Not only we had the same exact birthday, 2 years apart, very similar lives, but his story can be told some other time. He's not part of this, but the same example of, again, picking that same type of energy because that's what you're comfortable with and you know how to handle it. And sarcasm, I came to find out later on, I was very sarcastic. But sarcasm is a defense mechanism, yes, against stupid, but it's a defense mechanism that a lot of people who are raised by narcissistic parents learn to employ because it's the way that you protect yourself or the way that you can get past the selfishness and the inability of the parent to see outside of themselves. Everything has to be about them, and you're supposed to be respectful and not disrespectful, but it's a frustrating situation, and so you learn how to shoot your little digs to get your frustration out at some point. I really didn't associate the two until like within the last 10 years. And I actually realized that I did that. And I had to apologize to my daughter, most of all, and my son, and even his father, who was another narcissist, Aries. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My mother, my daughter, and my son's father, all Aries. Actually, my mother's the 13th. My daughter's the 5th. He's the 4th. Please. And I'm so glad she came on the 5th because she was supposed to be the same day as my mother, that wasn't supposed to be her due date. Anyway, yeah, so the same mother who wouldn't abandon her children to go off with the love of her life allowed her family to be destroyed and broken up by this man that she fell in love with, I guess, who was horrible. And it was all right because as long as it was all right when he broke up her family, it was okay when he disrespected her pregnant daughter, the keeper of the secrets, the person who's been holding her down. Call the cops on him. Cops say, "Miss, your daughter's upset." Da, 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 da. Well, he's not leaving. I guess you'll have to take her. Your daughter's pregnant, miss. I know. But he's not going anywhere. And she never wanted to say it was because she was given against me. It was I was disrespecting her by arguing with him when he tried to attack me and threatened to kick me in my pregnant belly, he said, because he was a cretin. Yeah, and she allowed that twice. Once when I was pregnant, and once when I wasn't, even before that, when I wasn't even old enough to be in the street, because she held on to that one for a long time. Like I said, me, my brother, my younger sister, and my middle sister, she was away in college at the time, so. And she was always, she got along with him. I don't know why, I don't care. She says that everything was okay, nothing happened, but I don't give a fuck. She knew he was a cretin too, and she hated him right along with us, but she found a way to make it work for her. Capricorn. Business, right? Above all else. Excuse me while I play with this lipstick. My lips are so dry. Anyway. So anyway. Found out years ago that my mother had kept a secret from me when I wasn't living with her, and I was living out here. She still wanted to see my daughter, her granddaughter. I had to work, and so I would get her a ride, or take the bus or train, and let her babysit for the baby while I was working. Right, I was give me a break, you know. The baby stayed with her grandmother, but she was still with this particular cretin. And he found he didn't like me at all anyway, so. And he was, like I said, a cretin and cruel and mean. And I don't know to this day what she saw in him, except maybe it was good sex, which I have come to understand that can be a factor. As we get older, we accept certain things because of sex, right? And that's not disrespect, that's just trying to understand the thing and being realistic. So sometimes we get just as whipped as we think men do, right? So that was because it wasn't about money or stability, because she was a breadwinner. He was a construction worker. And I learned at that time that construction worker is self-employed, and self-employed is another word for unemployed. That's how I looked at it, because he was out of work more than he was in. But he could, build things and fix things and paint and all that other stuff. So whenever we had to move, he could make the apartment accommodate all of us. I guess that had some value. But he had no other value, none other at all. And she worked and she worked and she took care of all of us, including his raggedy ass. But she wanted him, and I guess she wanted him more than she wanted me at some point. So I accommodated myself and found myself away from that foolishness. But I, let her babysit. She wanted to see the baby. So I found out my daughter, when I took her to my mom, she was all upset and crying. She didn't want to leave me, and that's not like her. Didn't know what was going on. Screamed bloody murder, really, really mad. She was a little, like 2, maybe, because I started living out here when she was 18 months old, so any of that time period. Yeah, because I think the real estate agent is the one that drove me into bring my daughter to my mother that day. And my daughter was having a fit. And my mother acted like she didn't have any idea why my daughter was acting like that. And I ended up bringing my daughter back home because it was really it's rough. And my mother was like, okay, well, she don't want to stay. Like, so I found out by chance from a neighbor of my mother's about maybe 6 or 7 months later that the reason my daughter did not want to go to my mother's is because the man, the cretin, had chased her and my mother out of the house with a machete. And the cops came. And my mother denied that it happened because the neighbors called. And that's why my daughter was so terrified. And my mother knew it and didn't say a word to me. And she saw my daughter having that fit. And she didn't tell me what it was. And if that woman hadn't told me, it didn't slip out of her mouth, I wouldn't know till this day. And you know why I know I wouldn't know till this day? Because today, 11/23/2018, I found out some further information that my mother and the cretin had been giving my daughter marijuana tea. I knew that he drank it because that's what he did. He grew up with that. My mother, she wouldn't smoke it. She never smoked anything. She didn't drink really. She drank like a Miller or a Valentine or Rheingold, I've only seen my mother tipsy once in all her life. But it's supposed to have some medicinal benefits, right? Marijuana, I have no problem against marijuana, but they were giving it to my baby. I didn't know that till today. My daughter told that to me today. And when she told it to me, oh my God, this anger, this not disbelief, just no. Knowing how much I have been through with my daughter, with the psychological problems, with the diagnoses, with the back and forth, the back and forth. They were giving it to her in her bottle and in her sippy cup and not telling me ever and not mentioning it ever. All the doctors, all of the specialists, the testing, all of the stuff, the being in the hospital for days and weeks at a time and trying to commit suicide and all this, not once. Hmm? Yeah, so no one has said anything to me till today. Now the cretin is dead. And I had just been working on, like last week or the week before, forgiving him, especially. And I had forgiven my mother a long time ago for all the foolishness, the secrets, all of that. But today was something new. Something again. I talk to my mother at least once a week for the most part. Sometimes 2 and 3 times a week, depending on what's going on. Enjoy, babe. So she don't know that I know this right now, because like I said, this just happened this afternoon at 12 o'clock, and I had already spoken for the day, Thanksgiving. You know, I'm not gonna call her and talk to her about this today because I'm trying to process it. So part of the Divine Feminine lesson from the Isis deck is learning how to process, accept the information, process it, and then release it. And so that is what I am in the midst of doing. But like I said, the good thing is that my children realized that I had no clue about that at all. No one ever told me that. But I felt like it gave me a little bit of when I say I felt a little lighter in a way is because now I really didn't blame myself for having done something. Because that's a baby. And this is what you're giving her for tea. In her bottle, in her sippy cup. And you not tell her mother. So the child, of course she's paranoid. Of course she's schizophrenic. Of course she doesn't trust anybody. She didn't know until tonight that I didn't know that. So there's things that she may have been holding. Well, I know there's things that she blames me for and holds against me. But now, what chance did I have between the crazy aunt that she had and so what to do? Besides forgive, right? That's all the only alternative I have. What am I gonna do? confront my mother. It's just going to end up with her telling me she don't want to talk about it, or me saying something and then she's saying something and we get loud and then I get rude according to Robert's Rules of Order. And then then my sisters and brothers get all involved in our business, and she, listen, up until last week, I asked my mother if I could find, would she care if we found out whether or not for sure? And she said she didn't want to know nothing. She know what she know. Now, there was been a time, knowing what she had said to me about this situation, she know what she know, she all of that. Finding this situation out today, I would have gotten up from that table, gotten that phone, and called her out from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet. I wouldn't have given a shit what day of the week it was. But what's done is done. It is what it is. And now I know going forward. And there was a reason why it took so long for me to find it out. Perfect time, perfect time, divine timing at play. I found out when it was the time that I needed to know. So that maybe I won't worry about what anybody's going to say about anything when I make whatever choices I choose to make. I'm going to do what's in my best interest, still knowing who I am and not let anybody make me any less than I am, but putting my prioritizing myself. Based on the lessons that I have been learning, right? All that I have gotten, all the gifts, using these lessons to further understand and to figure out what my purpose is and what this is all about. What is this all about? So this release from the guilt, thinking that I had done something to cause my child to have these symptoms, this pain, hallucinations, anger, mistrust, distrust, loss of self-control, being untrustworthy, just Google borderline personality disorder. It's like your whole life is walking on eggshells, so I know what that is. They hate you and they love you at the same time, and oh my God, and the whole time. And I was trying to say something was going on, and no, something's wrong with you, ain't nothing wrong with that child, blah, 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 blah. She knew the whole time. I don't know, maybe there would have been something that at least knowing that. She's a baby, her brain is still growing. At least she's high. Who knew what else she saw? So that was today. So the Thanksgiving. The forgiveness on Thanksgiving. Oh, my daughter forgave me. I asked her to forgive me. 40 co-create. And my daughter forgave me. She didn't know that I didn't know. So all the time she said that you can't even trust your own mother. She was basing it on the idea that she thought that I knew certain things that I didn't know. Well, really what she was telling me is I couldn't trust my own mother. But that's not the way she said it. And that probably she just consciously didn't mean that, but that's what the message was. So, no place like home. Ooh, number 9, Treasure Island. So, today, Yang, number 1. A gift from the universe. A part of a plan. Part of the puzzle. Getting the pieces of the puzzle. Chop wood. Waiting. Working hard. Cleaning up the loose ends. Putting in the work. 4 and 2, 42 adds up to 6. 6 is love. So, working hard to clean up all these remnants that have to do with love. All these lessons. Yin. Wait a minute. I was thinking, if that other card, if that Yin card comes out, that's something. On the bottom of the deck, higher power. And here it is, separated by chopped wood. The Yin, Yang, and the Yin. 1 and 2. And on either side of chopped wood. Wow. Wow. Just that itself has to be. I mean, it has to be that. So this is 1 and 4. 4 and 2 is 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a message from the ancestors, as is this Treasure Island. 90. So 9 and 9 is, oh, and this is 40, and this is 5, 50. 4 and 5 is 9, so this is 3 9s. 3 9s is what? Karmic completion? Got 3 9s around here the other day. Somebody, I know we got a 99, but there's a 3 9s. 99, compassion. Compassion. This card indicates the need to be kind and compassionate towards others, especially those who are beyond your family and your circle of friends. So this is, again, having compassion for the situations, for others. Open your heart and mind to see others through the eyes of love. Every time you feel someone else's pain is as if it were your own. You raise your personal vibrations and the vibration of the world. When you show kindness towards a stranger, you are living as your highest self. You're understanding and loving to align yourself with the divine. You have to walk a mile in another person's shoes. Broadening your understanding of other cultures, personalities, and points of view. You increase the potential avenues to making your dreams come true. Observation without judgment is the key to your success. I am compassionate towards others and attract the same in return. Now, this is the biggest contention between me and my mother and my sister. My mother and my sister, I call them, and this is before that movie came out, Millicent and Maleficent, the two of them together. They are just, oh, oh, oh. But they're very much alike. And so that's the thing, where I would try to understand a situation, like really bad things that happened in the family, bad behavior, things that were done, and more family secrets that we could discuss at some other time, I'm sure. They just didn't understand how I could not be angry. Well, first of all, I didn't take it personal because it really didn't happen to me. It happened around me. It was based on decisions that adults made that I had no say in, and I've never had a problem with this person who you're telling me was so horrible and wanted me to be put up for adoption and all this other stuff. It's another story. It's not the same, not her guy. It was her father, my grandfather. Okay. Well, if that's the case, I'm a grown person. I asked him about it. One of these days I was going to grow up and I was going to ask him about it because that's who I was. And he was like, what? Mm-mm. No such thing. She still insists to this day because she knows what happened. He said, he didn't do that. That was, and when I tried to explain to her, so this is the story. She says, when she gave birth to me, she and my father weren't married as yet, but she gave birth to me, and then the nurse came in to ask her what she wanted to. Was she going to keep the baby, or was she going to put the baby up for adoption? And my mother swears to this day that my grandfather sent the social worker in to talk to her, even though I've said, Mom, this is the 50s. That's what they would do normally to any young woman who showed up that wasn't married and had a baby. Do you want to keep the baby? Do you want to put up for adoption? I mean, come on, you can see that in the movies. No, 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 I know he did it. He didn't want it. My grandfather was like, what? What's she talking about? He said he had nothing to do with it. That was the first time he said he even heard that. But she kept that up against him till the day he died and tried to get me to follow up with her. But I never did because it was like, but Mom, come on now. That's what they would do in the 50s. I was like trying to be rational about it. That's what she can't stand about me because she wants me to ride with her to hatred. And I always was not that one that did that. And that's what's kept me in trouble. But maybe it was because I knew the secrets. So I came with it with the backstory. Like, maybe I was being judgmental. I don't think that was being judgmental. It was just like, come on now, stop. Why are you trying to turn me against? Because that's what it felt like, that she's trying to turn me against my grandfather. She was. She was. Because she's a narcissist and she did not want me liking him. She's a fire sign. He's a fire sign. He's a Sagittarius. She's a Aries. Oh no, she was not having that. And he certainly wasn't going to love me more than he loved her. I'd have been out. So there's sabotages at the beginning. So we know that he's my father, not hers. I'm her mother. She loves me. He loves me. They don't need to love each other. I'll be in the middle of this because that's how a narcissist works. Covert narcissists, they become the victim and they benefit from the victim being the victim. Mm. Yin yang and chop wood. Wow. Co-create, no place like home, treasure on. Mm. When I look at these cards here, to me, co-create, no place like home, treasure island. First thing I got Spirit saying was start all over again, build a new home, make it what you want it to be. Place all your treasures within that and get those treasures from it. Love and prosperity. When you dig up these things, you will find love and prosperity. No place like home. Like the Spirit just said, you find all of these secrets in your home and you will be able to create something. You and Spirit, Spirit and I, Spirit and I and Spirit, my mother and I created this. There's a treasure in this lesson, in this story. What? Excuse me. It's too hot in here with this oven, I guess. All right, it's that time of the year. All right. Excuse me. That might keep this from getting posted, just that, right? That's the devil. That is negativity right there. But back to this, co-creating together. There is a treasure in this story. The Wizard of Oz. No place like home, right? Dorothy is clicking her heels, damn it. The answer was always right there where you stand. You had it all the time. Well, why didn't you tell Dorothy? To go through, you let Dorothy go through all that, Glenda. And you knew all the time that all she had to do was click her heels. But you didn't tell her because you figured she wouldn't appreciate it. I think Glenda was a little narcissistic too. Why not just help Dorothy get home? Why make her go through all of that? Because she wanted revenge. She wanted to see the Wicked Witch of the West. Like a game. They were playing a game. Like Light and Dark, God and Satan, if you go with that story. Yeah. Yin and yang. Yin and yang. Okay. So let's decipher yin and yang, because this is. Let's do chop wood first, which is number 42. Okay, this is going to be a long one already, right? Being grounded in an everyday experience. Humility. There are times when the big dream is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in your life. Consider why pruning a tree is the forerunner of delighting in the beautiful blossoms when it is full blossom. The mundane act of pulling off the dead leaves, watering the soil, and then leaving it there to let nature take its course is an important step in manifestation. Taking your attention away from your goal brings you into a state of receptivity. This is the deeper purpose for releasing attachment. When you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative, contemplative way, you clear your energy, you receive your aha moments, which bring you ever closer to what you seek. Nothing is as important to you right now as nothing is as important right now as just doing what you need to do day to day. Let your heart remember that not everything has to be hard-won, passionate, or even obviously meaningful. Relationships and friendships go through lulls when the everyday tasks are at the center of awareness. That is perfect now. Hold hands, wash dishes, make a fire, read a book, share a meal, say nothing, stare into space, pick up socks, tell a dumb joke, and leave space to breathe. The work of your relationship right now is very simple. Just be present. Funny how it takes work to just be. All is well, really. Are you an armchair astronaut? Do you dream of wealth and fame, big ideas, inventions, or desires with a capital D? The appearance of this card is a sign that you might be devoting far too much time to dreaming and talking about your dreams. You have to get out of the chair and make these things happen. You actually have to do something. Start with a small task. Remember, the big dream becomes reality only after you have begun to take incremental steps. Mythologist Joseph Campbell once said, "Take one step towards the gods and they will take 10 steps towards you." Well, I think I've been trying to step towards the gods, and I see that they are stepping towards me because they're giving me some clarity, giving me an outlet, some way to vent, even if nobody understands it. Somebody will get something from this. They will. I know that. Even if it's my children and my grandchildren and me. Take the time now to take the small steps rather than large leaps on the journey to creating your most prosperous life. Move your focus off your big dream and attend to the mundane chores. Focus on the little things that may have piled up while you are mapping out the greater plan for the life you aspire to see manifest into reality. Chop wood, carry water. As the Zen proverb advises, or wash dishes, walk the dog. While you're doing all that, Spirit will have a chance to move mountains and set wondrous miracles in motion for you. Remain humble and aware of the present. Ashe. Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to have to be doing. Getting things together, cleaning up some stuff, spraying some things, moving some things around, and maybe packing up some stuff and throwing some stuff out and getting rid of some things. Yeah. So maybe that's why Spirit led me to do those readings and get them out the way so that I wouldn't feel pressured next month or for the rest of this month. But they gave me a gift today, and so I had to at least record it. Even if I don't share it, it's going to be recorded. I think I might put it on. I don't know if I'm going to do a Vimeo, if I'm going to put it on YouTube. I don't know. This is a long one. Yang. The masculine principle of movement and creative activity. The power to make things happen. Taking action. Yang represents the power of action. The energies that propel the world forward, manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny now. Circumstances are supporting action on your part. It's okay to make the first move. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand in matters of the heart. There is movement towards your highest good, so go forth with assurance. Passion is in the air, and now is the time to dance to the tune of love. Take the lead. This is Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. Projects, partnerships, and all matters relating to your business are out of the obstacle phase and onto the make it happen phase. Now is the time to stake your claim and get things done. While you can expect to be busier than usual, this card tells you that you have all the energy and vitality you need to accomplish your goals. Abundance is waiting for you to claim it. Okay, be mindful of the tendency towards impulsive actions, overconfidence, and aggressive behavior. Think before you act, lest you find yourself in a situation that will lead to uncomfortable consequences. Be sure you really want what you're chasing after, because you might be sorry when you get it. The appearance of this card isn't cause for fear, for life is all about learning lessons. Practice temperance, diplomacy, and thoughtful consideration before making a move. Okay, and yin. So this was yang. And this is yin. So this is receptive, right? And this is giving. So giving and receiving. Yin and yang, right? Fire, water. Intellect, emotions. I say intellect, spark, an idea, right? So putting things into action, having the idea, and then moving through it, right? Powerful. Essential meanings: the feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. This is a time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and see how quickly your dreams manifest. So I got the masculine and the feminine energies in the same reading. This is the work, right? This is the lesson. This is the balance that we are looking for, right? That's what all of this is about. All these lessons I've been leading to is the balance of the yin and the yang, the male and the female energy, and we got 3 9s. I left my iPad upstairs as usual. Let others take the lead. Your power lies in small gestures, soft awareness, and conscious surrender. By yielding the reins, you will find yourself emotionally moving closer to what you truly desire. Permit others to tell you who they are and who they can be to you by allowing your actions to speak about them. You will be pleasantly surprised. You will be pleasantly surprised. This is a time when the most effective action is to allow others to show you the way forward. Observe their behavior and follow their lead. Your desire to push through must take a backseat for now. Collaborate and offer other ideas rather than dictating what must happen. Let others come to you. It's important that they feel they have power now. Another meaning is about releasing your need to have things in the form that you want. How do you want to feel basking in your success? Allow the universe to show you the form. Yin is a sign of essence. Things may go more smoothly